Welcome to the Playback Podcast, presented by Car, your weekly podcast featuring America's favorite dancers, hosted by America's favorite road warriors. We are your hosts, Jocelyn, Kristyn, and Olivia, and we are doing 2 weeks worth of shows in this episode. Lots to get through. Let's get into it.
2-for-1 special.
1 million shows.
Truly a million.
Yeah. And 1 million more this weekend. I leave tomorrow.
How are you feeling?
I got back last night. By the time this episode comes out, I will already be about 200 acts into my show.
Yeah,
Ooh.
that's wild.
Wild.
We're almost to the end of the season, though, you guys. We're so close.
One
So
more
close.
Ultra. Just one more.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, 2 more.
No?
One
Oh, yeah.
more.
No, you're right. Well, Battlegrounds.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that's
One-
one more
Yeah.
Ultra, like,
Regional.
Regional,
vibe.
right.
Fair. Okay, let's get started. I want to talk about Future Star first. So let's start out with our Future Star segment. My Future Star is from Rainbow, Milwaukee, number 512, Adios. Her name's Elena from New Fusion Dance and Performing Arts. I knew the moment that I was going to choose her because she was backstage in that back left wing, ready to run. And you know that Adios song. It's like, I'm not going to sing it. But anyways, she runs out on stage as the music starts, and it is literally so good. The confidence in her facial expressions throughout the whole dance. She's a graduating senior this year, so I just know that that was like probably her best performance. Like, she worked so hard for that moment, and she was so confident. She was giving that smile of like, yeah, I did that, you know, like all throughout her performance. And it wasn't super tricky. She wasn't doing a ton of turns, a ton of legs, but she was giving that movement quality that I loved. The costuming was so simple and so perfect for the routine. And I would say, I wrote in my notes, she was giving Ava Wagner vibes.
Ooh.
wow.
Like, so strong, so powerful, and so confident. And when she won, like, tears, the excitement from her teammates, I was just like, she deserved that win. Completely. Even the judges were talking about her afterwards. They were like, who is that strong girl that ran from the wing? And I was like, I liked her too. Like, I'm going to talk about her on the podcast. She was awesome. I loved her. Great job. Can't wait to see you again.
Love it. Okay, my Future Star is from that Ultra Anaheim show, which was a double stage, crazy weekend. But this dancer caught my eye. This was 449, the Sparkling Diamond. Her name is Charlie Winth from Variant Movement. First off, this little girl was born to dance. Like, from the second that she poked out from the wing, I was like, wait, I love her. And I could tell the judges were eating it up too. It was obviously Diamonds Are Forever. It was a classic song, but she just had such a little spunk to her. Literally the cutest thing ever. I feel like she was full of energy. Like, I would be curious to see her off the stage because I feel like she's one of those kids that's just like bouncing off the walls with energy all the time, which makes for an excellent dancer. And even Jody, who was our judge, who gave her the power performance, so she did get a power performance, said, I feel like you just gave me 6 cups of giant coffee. Like, she was like, you are
Energy giver.
6 energy drinks, Starbucks wrapped into one little girl.
That's a good way to put that.
Yeah,
I love
it
that
was-
for her mom.
Yes, exactly. But she was just so cute, and I just feel like she has that it factor. And when people are like, what do you mean the it factor? Go watch her perform that. And again, she wasn't doing, I mean, she had tricks, she had turns, she had all the things, but that wasn't even really what I was focused on.
Exactly.
It was just her musicality, the way she was feeling every lyric, every moment. Oh, loved her. So shout out, Charlie. You're my future star. I'm excited to see you grow up and keep doing your thing, girl. You killed it.
Cute. Born to dance. We love that.
Yes.
All right. My Future Star is from Ultra, North Carolina. It was Charlotte, North Carolina. Her name is Ann Tellen from South Carolina Dance Company. She had 2 solos, number 199 and 195. She got first overall for one of them, and then she got Icon of the Year for the other one, 8 and under. I met her last season at one of the shows in that region area, and she won we had a little mascot last year, and she won the like picture contest for her, but she was just like a little girl. And this year I just felt like she blossomed on that stage, and I saw her during the improv challenge. She had so much confidence. Her feet were pointed so beautifully, straight legs. I just felt like she has come into her own. She's still in the 8 and under category, but she is growing so much in just that short year span. I think her future is so bright. And on top of it, she has the best support system. Her parents are like right there right in front of the stage or right behind the stage watching her, just cheering her on. And I just think that's the sweetest thing ever. And when you have that support system, you can go anywhere with it. So can't wait to see what you do. And Tellen, excited.
I like that.
I'm loving this little future star moment.
I know.
Me too.
Cute.
I think we should do a little compilation at the end of the season.
Yeah, of all of our future stars.
Yeah.
And then like who wins future star at nationals. Even.
What if we already saw that future star?
We're
we
psychic.
called it?
Yeah, psychic, for real.
Manifestation is real.
True.
It's true. Okay, let's head into our picks. I have to start out with like a firecracker because I saw her walk through the lobby. I was like, sick. She's cute. She's giving with her hair. It was like giving very Sabrina Carpenter vibes, like with the curls, like kind of pinned up in certain places, like old Hollywood glam. Yeah. And then I saw her solo and I was like, yes. She did 309 Be My Baby at Rainbow Milwaukee. This is Ava from Veracity Dance Project. The choreography that she was given was so unique. It wasn't so tricky. Like, I love tricks. I love a turn. I love a leg. But she was giving like old school, I want to say like 60s vibes where she's ponying and like doing the high leg kick ponies and all of that. And I was like, yes. She was wearing the cutest little baby doll costume. Her hair obviously pinned up. If Sabrina Carpenter were to be an Elite Stars dancer, and I told this to her face too, if she were to be an Elite Stars dancer, that was going to be the choreography and the solo she was given. I just saw it. She was giving like our own little dancer version of her. And
Did you know she was a dancer?
It's going viral. All her old
her
like
little
competition
solos?
No way.
Oh, it's so cute.
Okay, you have to show me because, wow.
She has like
Yeah.
little piqué turns. It's
Yep.
really cute.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of this dancer, Ava from Veracity. And she's younger too. So I believe she was in that 12 to 14-year-old age division. So we get to see her for a little bit longer. And I'm excited to see like what vibe they go for next for her next year solo. She's really cool.
Love it.
Kudos.
Okay, I'm going to talk about some fire senior group dances.
Okay.
So I had Dolce Dance Studio over at Ultra Anaheim, and there's two performances. I mean, they were a huge studio. There were so many I could choose from, but these two were so cool to me. So first I want to talk about 712 Either Way. It was giving like country contemporary vibes. It was like a country more style song. They had a little straw hat to kind of go with the theme of it all. Their legs and their acro are insane. The synchronicity that they are able to do in these group dances, I feel like is what makes them such a strong team. They're passing off the cowboy hat. Like while these girls are doing a back walkover, this girl's over here doing crazy turns. It's just, there's always something to look at. And then there's this one girl that just like casually hits a 540 in the center of the stage. And then also I love throughout the whole thing, you hear the teacher going, hey, hey, and I just love that too, because I feel like, again, these kids were going every other three numbers. It's once you get into that ultra competitive level, they're dancing nonstop all day long. So just having like that little oomph from their teacher, I feel like goes a long way. But my favorite that they did was 686 The Dinner. So this was really cool. I walked in just in time for this. They had this really cool table prop that was like up on a tilted stage platform situation. Cool. And the whole performance is basically about putting on a dinner party and like performing and like putting a smile on your face. But then the whole dance, there was basically like this voice that was talking about all the things that go through a woman or a girl's mind at a dinner party. How do I look? How am I acting? Am I doing this right? Did I offend someone? Did I eat too much? Did I eat too little? Like all of the things that goes through all of our minds when we're at a dinner party. Yeah. It was just done so well, and it was such a different kind of concept seeing it on that scale. It was just so good. And like there's this one point where there's this girl is at the top, on top of the dinner table doing this gorgeous arabesque, and there's like chaos happening around her. It was so well done. Storytelling from start to finish, loved it. It was so good. And I mean, Dolce is, I feel like, one of those studios where they can do any style. They come out and they have gorgeous feet, gorgeous legs, gorgeous turns. I loved seeing the storytelling element.
I love a story.
It was just cool, and it was kind of just touching on all the insecurities that happen as a woman and as a girl. So love when you can put storytelling and those types of topics into a performance. It was stunning. And I'm so glad I walked in, like, literally just in time as it started. So
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Those groups are gorgeous. I'm going through all of like the pictures for Ultra social media, and
Yeah.
just literally every moment
Yep.
is like just flawless.
Yeah.
It's so gorgeous.
Yeah.
You
so,
guys make it easy.
Dolce, you guys always deliver. Always.
All right, I'm going to go into a group that I saw at Charlotte, North Carolina. It was number 470, Smooth Criminal. This was a tap number. It was MJ vibes. They were killing it. They were like, they came on and you like knew it was going to be kind of cool. And they just all had these hats and they were like red rimmed. They're super, super cool. They ended up getting a power performance, and I wanted to touch on their power performance commentary because I feel like it was one of the best compliments you can get for a tap number. The judge said that there was like 15 to 20 people on this stage, and you sounded like one dancer, which for a tap piece is like, that's the dream.
Yeah.
That's what you want. And their tap technique was just so, like, you can tell that they're doing the work in the studio, which is just so cool to see. But I just loved it. It was one that I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about that one. It was so cool. And everybody loves like a Michael Jackson piece. It just, so good.
It's a classic.
Classic. I said such a fun classic piece. That's what I wrote.
Okay. So you were talking about storytelling. So I feel like I got to hop into some Florida picks. I was in Lakeland, Florida this past weekend, and it was so good. It was so good. It was another weekend that reminded me how much I love dance and I love my job, like literally so much. So I have to start out with A&G. I saw A&G for the first time last year. I believe it was their first time coming as a client. So they came back, and I was, it's always fun to see a familiar face, you know? So speaking of storytelling, 444 Recovering. So I got to do a little backstory. We talked about A&G last season. They did the routine, It's Getting Bad Again, choreographed by Derek. I loved that routine so much. It brought me to tears. I was shook. So they brought Recovering. I literally wrote tears. All I can describe are tears. So they gave me a little backstory after the routine because I obviously reached out to them and I was like, oh my God. So in the middle of the routine, it starts off with, I knew it was getting bad again. And I literally grabbed Kristyn and I was like, oh, and I saw, I know, I'm like getting excited again all over again. And one of their teachers, Tiffany, was in the wing and she saw my reaction and she started giggling because she knew I saw last year. So she said, spoke with Tiffany afterwards and she said, recovering is our continued story, the beginning representing therapy in the circle, and then the 4 seniors at the end representing graduation from therapy with their story being told through getting bad again in the middle. Literally,
Wow.
literally
Chills.
so good. And they had the chairs. They started out with the circle at the very beginning. You'll know the song when you hear it. And then Marissa puts the chair down and stands up and it says, I knew it was getting bad again. And
That's so good.
so good. And their choreography is just made for them. It's literally like cutting edge with their Taylor Swift cover last year. Like it is literally made for this studio. They do not disappoint ever, 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 ever. Storytelling on point. Speaking of Marissa Lopez, she also had a solo 421 My Way. I love My Way for a senior solo. Mm-hmm. I don't care how many times it's done. It's done differently with
keep it coming.
like literally keep it coming. There were a few My Way solos this weekend, but Marissa, I love her. I love watching her dance. She can do everything. I love when she comes out in a LaDuca boot and she just gives us that Bob Fosse. This solo, she was not in a LaDuca boot, which is surprising because I would have talked about her LaDuca boot solo, but this one was my favorite. She combined a Bob Fosse style with some technique and some contemporary vibes, and you could just tell that this was her moment and maybe this was her favorite solo. She gave me the same vibe in all 3 solos, but this one, like, you could tell she was getting emotional at the end. She put the hat down on the ground. She stepped on it. She gave us a moment where she just, like, looked up at the judges and she, like, had that tear in her eye and that little twinkle of, like, this was it. Like, this was my moment. And, like, I'm going to lay it all out for you guys. And I was literally, like, eyes with tears, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like, I've only seen her once before. And then she came to CART convention and then she's on her stage doing her final solos of her senior year. And I don't even know her that well, and I was literally tearing her up, sitting down at the table. She's awesome. I was blubbering. I literally put it in all caps, blubbering at the table. Congratulations, Marissa, on a fantastic senior year. I can't wait to see what you do next. Hopefully it's Broadway. You could come to LA too, but like hopefully it's Broadway because wow. A couple ones that I have to like just give a shout out from their studio. 448 Hairspray was their production. They always do productions really well. 597 Can We Quit? 759 Fun Laughs Good Times with the LaDuca Boots. All three of them got an EUP. 749 Apple Doesn't Fall, also EUP. You guys. I would spend 3 hours talking about them too, so yeah.
Love it. Yeah, you were texting me all weekend.
Literally all weekend.
Heaven,
I was like, oh my God, this one. Wait, this one. Yep, this one. And I'm probably going to talk about those too.
Love it. Okay, I'm going to hop back over to Ultra Anaheim. I'm going to talk about a studio that does musical theater so well. Heart Academy. They did 670 Greatest Show. I unfortunately was on the other stage, so there's some performances I didn't get to see live in person.
That's okay.
But I had them circled on my schedule, knowing that I was going to pull those videos the second that I could. Greatest Show was one of them. They started out with a bang. I feel like it had so much energy from the start. I feel like when it comes to a musical theater piece and you're using a ton of different music, a ton of different like scene vocal moments, and then adding your own little oomph to it with like adding in the beats or whatever it is, they do it so well. I know that if I was watching this live, I would have cried. There's like something just about these kids, and I feel like Heart Academy does it so well, where these kids get up on stage and they are just dancing. Like they are just living their best life up on that stage, and everyone is committed. Everyone loves it, because it's hard to find a good musical theater program, and I feel like they just have it locked down up there. They threw in a little tap, threw in a little lyrical moment, just all of the things. But their production was Mean Girls. They won, obviously. Shout out to the prop parents also. I feel like all of Heart Academy's props were killing it this season. But I love like just the extra little touches. Like when they reveal Regina George, they have like extra strobe lights on her. And just like little things that you wouldn't typically think about, but I feel like it just elevates the production. Everyone who played a role absolutely killed it, like committed to the character. Caddy, Janice, Damien, all the plastics. Loved it. Great choices. They did get a power performance.
Okay.
And it was just so entertaining. I feel like it's one of those dances that gets up on stage and everyone, doesn't matter if you're doing a quick change or whatever it is, you kind of stop and watch just because you're like, wait, so much is happening on the stage. I want to see it. So shout out Heart Academy. Always love having you guys, and your musical theater just never disappoints. Always look forward to it. So shout out Diana and the whole team over at Heart Academy. Thanks for joining us at Ultra.
They kill it.
They kill
every
it.
time. Speaking of a studio that always kills it, I had the pleasure of having Miss Donna's School of Dancing at Charlotte, North Carolina. Donna. And she's just a doll. She really is.
She is.
She's the cutest ever. But I wanted to talk about one of her seniors. This is number 284. She danced Babushka, which just sounds kind of interesting and cool. And so I was like, I got to see that. And she comes out in this like lace costume. Her name is Cara Volpe.
Okay.
She's 17 years old, and so this, I'm assuming, is probably her last season. If she has one more, I hope, but if not, can't wait to see what you do. Hands down the coolest dancer at this competition. Like, she has blue hair. She's so cool.
She's cool.
She's just really cool. And she just carries this like vibe behind her of like confidence, but you know that it's not like arrogance. It's very like the whole studio is just like, that's the girl, that's her. We're excited to show her off, which is so nice to have that role model in a studio that trickles down to the younger dancers. But I had to talk about her because it was just so memorable. This piece was so cool. I have never heard this song before, but it was really cool. And I knew it was so memorable because I was asking the staff, I was like, hey, can you guys look this one up? And then immediately our director was like, oh, that's 284. I know exactly which one. I was like, okay, well, I have to talk about it then. She just was so cool. And then she got a power performance and her reaction was just so cute too. They always get so like shocked. And I'm like, why are you shocked? You deserve that. You absolutely should have walked on the stage and been like, that's mine. I'm going to get a power performance.
Yeah.
But you killed it. You were so cool. You're so good. Just watch the dance. Her, like the lace vibe, blue hair. I love it.
We love cool hair.
Yeah.
We love it. And I love that like they let her have that because sometimes studios would be like, no,
don't let her.
hair.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like she's just such free spirit. She had to.
Yeah.
That's her.
And it makes her memorable. And
Yeah,
just
she
stand
stands out. Yep. I hope she moves to New York or LA and like does her thing because she's gonna kill it out there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I am moving on to do another little studio shout out from Florida, BSDA. Last year they came. I saw Broken Vow.
Yes.
I talk about that one to any team member. It's either Broken Vow or it's Getting Bad Again from A&G that I talk about to like literally anyone who will listen to me. BSDA brought their whole studio. So I got to see everything from their minis to their graduating seniors. They had lots of tiers for those graduating seniors. So I'll give a few shout outs to those at the end. But the first one I want to talk about is 633 Witch Hunt. They told me, hey, man, you should watch this one. And I was like, okay, sick. I'm going to go down to the table and watch this one. Did not disappoint. Essentially, it was about like the old days where witches were a thing and they get burned at the stake. And it was so well done. The storytelling in this one also. Ooh, and the technique. At one point, the girl in all black, who I assume is the witch, holds up her leg and then gets onto a releve and just continues to hold it for about an 8 count. Oh. And I was like, oh, me too. I do that when I'm just getting ready for the day, you know? Like I was just shook. I do have to say our media team member, Kia, was covering photo at this moment. And I asked him to pull the video afterwards because I knew that I was going to talk about it. And he was like, oh, that one's my favorite one that I have ever seen.
Wow.
And he's been with the company for about, 3-4 years?
And media looks through like every video.
Yeah, they have to label everything. So, I mean, the fact that he thinks that that was the best performance that he's ever seen, ooh. Yeah, no, that storytelling was so cool. And the dancers commit. Like, they are committed to that storyline. You see them do like 5 different group performances in a row, and each storyline is different and they're committed in a different way. Like they brought out the prop, which is, I assume, the stake, and she is on it and she's literally weeping. Like, oh my gosh, it was so good. And like a couple girls come over and they like try and help her, but then they get taken away. And I was just like, whoa, this is sick. I was like shook by that storyline. I had never seen anything like it before.
Yeah.
It's creative. That's like
so creative.
Yeah.
Haven't seen anything.
Save it and post it for Halloween.
Yeah.
You know what? That might be cool. Okay, the next one I want to talk about from BSDA is 345. I Can't Do It Alone. Dancer's name is Stella. If I could choose a future star for Florida, she would be my future star. Someone get this girl to Broadway. Stat. Immediately, she needs to be on Broadway. She interacted with every single judge. I think even at one point she interacted with Ray. He was down at the table and like pointed at him, and her facial expressions were just so on point. She was lip syncing the whole time, doing all the different characters throughout I Can't Do It Alone. She comes out and she has this red robe on, and then she goes off stage and takes it off before the main dancing portion, and she's just acting through the whole thing, like making eye contact with every single person at that table. I watched it from side stage, so I got to see everyone's reaction as she was interacting with them. And I was like, girl, you are a star. And I talked to her teachers afterwards, and her teachers were like, she's just the most humble and respectful girl. She's got it all. Technique, ambition, drive, like all the things. She's got it. I wrote in my notes, put her, Marissa Lopez, Jack Schofield, and Ava Dooley together on a show. Whoa. Like a Broadway show, something. It'll be a show of its own. I'd pay millions of dollars.
Just for them.
Just for them to do something together. Like Chicago?
Yeah.
Ooh, I don't know. Like, I don't know what show to put them on, but put them on it all together, please. Because, yeah, I would pay for that. Fantastic Stella. 619, Take a Bow. they had this crazy prop, and it was like a old school Take a Bow vibe. It wasn't the Rihanna version. And in the middle of the performance, that round of applause part, like they start like a slow clap and the audience claps with them, and then they start clapping fast, and the audience interaction was cool. I really liked that. 605 Home was about their graduating seniors and like coming back home. Like Leah from Broken Vow, she had on her BSDA jacket in the middle, like at the beginning of the routine, and then took it off, and they like, oh, it was beautiful. Everyone was crying. I was crying. It's fine.
Always so sweet when they like give that moment.
The moment to the seniors.
Yeah.
Their teacher, Tiffany, she is about to have a baby. So she was in the audience, and she was literally like, and I felt the same, girl. Like, I don't even know your seniors, and I was crying. 704 Earth Song, they had like a big dramatic moment where the prop like basically like gets ripped off of the stage, and you know that their parents had to practice that because you saw the dads in the wings like holding the prop ready to unclip it. And I was just like, I even recorded our reactions to it, so maybe we'll pop that in. And also 442 Time. It was about the two sisters of the studio growing up to being where they are now. Crying.
Yeah.
Crying. Storytelling. Crying. BSDA. Thank you. Wow. Can't wait to see you guys again. That's even just only 5-6 performances. Like I could talk about 17 more, and we'd be here for another 3 hours. So yeah, I can't do that, but thank you so much. I'm going to cry again talking about all your teams.
I feel it. Okay, going back over to Ultra Anaheim, got to talk about Signature Dance Academy.
Yes.
So, I mean, their seniors, always stunning. They did 743 Home. They had chairs for their props. So in sync, classic song. Immediately, I watched it again. Okay. I missed this live. I was on the other stage working, but I made sure to watch the video. I rewatched it like 3 times just because, again, there's so much that's happening choreography-wise. There's so much to watch. There's a technique happening over here. There's movement quality over here. There's turns. There's just so much to watch. These dancers, I feel like, dance so well together. You can tell they've been training for years and years together, and they got that power performance, which you can tell they came for that and they were happy they got it. And even in that commentary of the power performance, they were like, you can tell you guys are so vulnerable together. You're so authentic. You're so just real and raw. And I feel like that's what they want to see when it comes to a power performance. I was just in awe. This group is absolutely gorgeous. The fluidity of the choreography, and as that piano picks up, it was just stunning job. But I also want to shout out their younger group of dancers, their first overall 9 to 11 ultra competitive large group. This was 700 Clean, a cover of the Taylor Swift version.
Very good.
This group of kids, I love them. They are at all of our regional events. I've seen them working hard for years and years and years, coming up from minis.
Yeah.
And to see them do this performance, I was like, oh, wow, they're really elites now. Like, they are so mature in their, not just technique and everything that you can tell they've been working on, but just their performance quality. Like, you can see the graduation of the cute little performance quality to they are feeling these feelings, they are performing, they are storytelling. I want to give a shout out to Pia and to Samantha. These two girls, again, we've seen them since itty bitty. They are getting so strong. They're getting into that teen level, and they are so flawless, so on point. This whole group of kids, I'm so proud of them. Like, I really am just so proud of them.
They are great.
Their hard work is paying off. So just wanted to give kudos to them. But then lastly, I want to shout out one of their younger dancers, Scarlett Elgato. She did 812 I Will Wait. She was on point. She scored the highest out of the whole level. She got a power performance and absolutely lost it, crying on stage. I turn around, Ryan, Talia, all the teachers are crying. It was so sweet. You could tell it meant so much to her. And I feel like it was a good reminder of, like, at Ultra, yes, they want to win first overall, but they want that power performance, and that moment and that connection with the judge of them sharing how much it impacted them. It's like she was just having so many feelings, and it was so precious. And I was just so happy for her. So wanted to give a shout out to her. She won Icon as well, and she just killed it. And I mean, Signature is always such a treat to have at shows. So shout out to Jenny and Ryan and the whole team over there. You guys are killing it, as always.
I have to talk about South Carolina Dance Company.
Okay.
They're just like one of those massive studios. They're so big and they're all so good, but their minis are next level.
Yeah.
This group of kids that they are training is going to be some of those kids that we are going to be talking about for the next 5-10 years. Like they are so crisp and clean, and there's literally like a million of them. I don't know who, like whoever is training them and taking this time right now to do this, like your work is already showing and paying off. They did number 602 Rockstar. There's so many of them and they're so powerful. They like are coming up to the edge of the stage and they're like rocking on, but like so in sync, so fun, high energy. And I know like the little ones have high energy, but it's like controlled high energy. It's not just like crazy little ones running around. Leg holds every single one of them perfectly in a window. I'm like, it's so hard. Sometimes I'm like, I have a niece, she's 5, she runs into walls. Like, I don't know. I don't know how you're getting these kids to do this. It's so impressive. You guys are doing such a good job. But I do want to shout out their senior group of girls too, because they are clearly just such good role models. I have to talk about number 298 Edge. Her name is Ansley Cato. She's in that senior group of kids that are at the South Carolina Dance Company. I got permission to talk about this. She had a wardrobe malfunction on stage and she embodied exactly what it means to be a professional. She finished her entire dance with one arm. Wow. And it wasn't just like, oh, like a dance, whatever. It was like she had acro skills. She had things she was doing inversions, and she did it so well, and then came off the stage, took a breath out, was a little disappointed for a moment, but then gathered herself and was just a professional. Yeah. I literally was watching it from the front and I ran around to the backstage to see like what we could do, see if we could help, whatever. She just took a deep breath, and then our director allowed her to perform again for a video, and she shook it off and then re-performed, and it was even better. Wow. And sometimes you can let that shake you, and she obviously it's a disappointing feeling because you're in your last few seasons of doing these solos, and maybe this is her last regionals, but she just shook it off so professionally. She did such a good job, and I was like, that's why your little ones are going to be great, because your teens and seniors are killing it, and they're professional, and they're doing these intricate things that are hard. Yes, she's a senior, but she's what, like 16, like 15? That's like hard. That's sometimes it could be tough. Lots of emotions, but she killed it. She handled it so well.
Wow.
You always have a little one watching you too. So it's good to have that confidence and, I don't know, just professionalism. Yeah. So great job, Ansley. And South Carolina Dance Company. You guys are cool.
Cool. Okay, I want to cover another studio from Florida, Central Florida Dance Center. It was my first time seeing them. They're really cool too. They had a dance 601 Heartstrings. All the girls were in black except for one dancer was in red. Cool choreography, cool storyline. Essentially like something about heartstrings, love, tugging at your heartstrings, essentially. Cool choreography, exceptional technique. Like, they are good technicians. You can tell that they're really training in the studio. All of their dancers are absolutely fantastic, from their minis to their seniors. I loved watching them all weekend. They were so different. Every single performance was so different from the one that came on prior. But this one, obviously, I was down at the table. I was locked in. I was feeling the vibe. I was trying to figure out the story the whole time. Like, I was definitely looking through my eyebrows for this one. Towards the end of this one, they started pulling at the girl in red, and red string coming out of her costume. I didn't even see it. I didn't know where it came from. And I was like, this is awesome. And they're pulling at it, and she's trying to pull back, obviously. And they're pulling her whole heartstring out. Enough so that at the very end, she just kind of collapses to the ground. And I was just like, that was sick, you guys. Are you kidding?
You made it literal.
Literal pulling at the heartstring. Such good choreography and technique. I loved every single moment of it. I loved that added moment of the prop coming out from her costume. Ooh. Visual. I love visual. The next one, 514, The Last Memory of Me, dancer Michaela. I knew she was going to be great just based off of her costume. and her hair. She had the ponytail with the braided pony moment. And then she also had like a couple pieces of like perfect curls like pulled down from it. And I was like, ooh, okay, I got to watch you from the front. She also had like a tan sock on, like the little block socks. And I was like, she's going to be cool. Green costume, but like not like a bright green, like a neon, but like kind of muted, if that makes sense. She was cool. Stunning technician, a stunning choreography. She's just that girl that you want to be, I think. Like, I don't know, I want to be her. Yeah. I don't know. She was cool. I loved watching her performance, and I literally checked her in backstage, and I was like, yeah, I want to be cool like you. So how? I didn't ask her that. Maybe I should have.
Call her up. Too late.
But Central Florida, you were cool. I also loved 667, You Better Run, and 762, Leave the World. I hope I get to see you guys again. I hope I go to Lakeland again next year, and you guys are there, and I can see all the new things that you guys come up with, because it was really cool. It was a pleasure having you. Wow.
Love it. Okay, next, I got to talk about our studio highlight.
Okay.
JDI Dance Company.
Yep.
Basically.
I don't know. It's actually insane. And to see this studio evolve over the last 5 years, kudos to you guys. I was already keeping my eye on the schedule for some performances because they've kind of gone viral this season.
Yeah.
So first I got to talk about 755 The Gallery. This is one that I'm sure you've seen on TikTok.
Yes.
You've seen.
I just saw that video the other night. Literally, I was at my show and I was like, hey, did you guys see this?
Like, I feel like JDI is like the queens of concepts. So this already, such a cool prop. Shout out to these prop parents. You guys are putting in work all day long. They were loading out just as late as we were almost.
Wow. I'm sure.
On that Sunday night. This performance, first overall, power performance. But it's not just another performance. There was some crazy stuff that happened.
Yep.
Literally, as it's getting to like the climax of the performance, lights go out.
Oh. Yeah.
And when I tell you, I'm standing on that back video riser and I see this girl in the dark jump off the edge of the prop, and I'm literally like, no! It was like the whole audience, you just hear them go, like, it was so cool. It was so cool. Like, it was scary for a second, but it was actually so cool. The lights came back on. Music was still on. Like, it was so weird and spooky, and it was crazy. They're like, the strength that you have to take these kids for them to be hanging on the chandelier and jumping up onto the different photo frames. Like, so cool, so innovative. Love, love, love. The next one I got to talk about, 691 Seven Birds. This also got first overall in that large group category. If I could have screamed, I would. There was this one moment where, shout out to Ethan, the main boy dancer in a majority of their routines. He's such a star in excuse me. I'm like talking
She's
so fast.
excited.
I'm so excited. He is a star in his own right, and he carries these dances so beautifully. But there's this moment where he has the girl, and she does almost like a double backflip in his arms. So it's not just like a normal lift. It's like she goes around twice.
She like rotate. Yeah, I
it
know
was
what you're talking
so cool.
Wow.
And there was tons of other cool partner work, but that one immediately I was like, huh, what?
It takes you by surprise.
Yes. So stunning, so gorgeous. Again, this team is so strong. Like, individually, every single one of these kids is hitting the legs, hitting the turns. It was just absolutely stunning. There's this girl on the stage right that just like turns on a dime, and you just hear them go, woo! It was just so good. The next one I got to talk about, just because I've seen a couple Peaky Blinders routines over the last year and a half. I feel like it's kind of a trending show. This was for sure a really cool way to do it. Kind of how you were talking about earlier with like that 60s vibe. It wasn't necessarily 60s, but it was very like isolations and these cool little grooves that they were getting into. And it was different. I'm used to seeing them do like creepy, and they just do spooky and creepy so good that this one was like, I mean, it still has a little edge to it, but just, again, it was just so cool. The isolations, the hip thrusts, like everything, loved. But my favorite was 668 Sirens. They got first overall, IDA People's Choice, power performance. Like, this performance is everything. The prop already, such a cool concept. You know, it's kind of weird, but you know those like bouncy horses that are on kids' playgrounds, and
Yep.
it's like the spiral thing, and you have to balance. They had a boat on that.
Oh.
And so the whole time Ethan's like teetering in it, which already was giving that vibe that you're in the water. And then shout out to our LED lighting crew. They put up the waves.
Oh, good.
So then it was like the wave background on the LED wall.
adding to the effect.
And Ethan's like on this boat, and then all these stunning girls just come out, and like they're these like dangerous siren mermaids. So spooky.
Wow.
I'm like, how do you be so spooky and scary and still so stunning? Like every
Right.
single one of them. They just played into the character so well. I loved how it was like they were like almost torturing him and then like dragging him out of the boat and putting him back in the boat. Like it was just, they were just toying with him essentially. So cool. This was a for sure performance that I was watching through my eyebrows. And I was like, again, I could watch it over and
That
over
should be
and
a
over
segment now.
of just what our eyebrows.
Eyebrows through the eyebrows.
Through the eyebrows dances.
Yeah, I mean, if you know, you know. But this, I mean, it was just such a cool piece. I feel like the constant movement, the use of the prop, everything about it. And this, I think, was that performance where they're like, we're getting a power performance for this one. Like, you can kind of always tell when they like are like
They're
ending
rooting
the
for it.
performance.
Yeah, they're,
and
like, holding.
They're like waiting. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost. And
They're like, hit the
sure
button.
enough, they hit that button. All those kids run up on stage. They don't just run up on stage. All of them come to the front and literally like
They knew.
sat. I feel like you can tell as a team when you're finishing, like, yeah, we just did that.
Yeah.
And so to get that instant gratification of that buzzer, so good. I could talk about a million more. I mean, a lot of these were their seniors, but their juniors, like, do not underestimate those juniors from JDI. They are so strong. Their acro is insane. Shout out to that acro teacher at JDI. You are teaching some incredible moves at such young ages. And yeah, like I said, it's just so cool to see this studio evolve. So shout out to Katie and Carly and Kaylee and Cassidy, all the K's, all the C's. They're just amazing, truly. And so I'm just happy for them to see them getting their flowers this season, and it's so well deserved. So shout out Studio Highlight, JDI Dance Company. You wowed us again.
Yeah. I'm going to jump over to a different show that I was just looking through results pages. This is a car exclusive, which is always cool. It's a little
Yes.
show. This was in Upland, and so I just wanted to shout out this group of girls. They took top 1, 2, and 3 in the 15 and 19 elite category.
Casual.
Yeah, so I was like, I have to talk about them. They're from Endeavor School of the Arts. Act number 271, Favorite Crime. I just felt like their choreography was so intricate, and they were doing it so well, and you really saw like the push that they were doing. Like you could tell like they're a group that like wants to work really hard together. I just really love what's happening with them, and obviously like it's working. They took top 3, all 3. So I hope that they have like a couple more years, at least 1 or 2 years together as a senior group, because I can't wait to see what they do. And they're local around here, so I hope I get to see one of the shows one day. Yeah. But they killed it. Just had to give them a little shout out.
Yeah.
I love a shout out.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another performance from Lakeland from Jean Lynn. Jean Lynn brought it this weekend, and I had never seen them before. This was my favorite tap performance, I have to say. 763 staccato. The dancers were wearing all black, but they had different colored taps on. One dancer had
Cute.
blue, one dancer had red. And every time a dance came out and they had different colored taps, my MC Adam was like, I want those. As they're walking out on stage, he's like, give me those. He loves a tap performance too. This one, they got an EUP. They placed in the high points. They were so excited. I love the excitement when they hear they scored high enough for an elite ultimate. The joy that it brings me, like in my bones, is out of this world. Because during groups, they just see it on the TV because we do the grab and go. But during solos, duet, trios, we announce the general placement. So like the like anticipation of it, like I can just tell that they're like holding hands, like waiting for that moment, and then they're cheering. Jean Lynn knows tap, and they know how to do it confidently. This performance was fantastic. It had me at the edge of my seat. I was just like staring at their feet the whole time. I could not do what they're doing, but they're doing it flawlessly. I loved Jean Lynn all weekend long. They were just so pleasant. Their teachers were so fun backstage all the time. Every single studio in Lakeland, your prop parents, your teachers, fantastic. I loved spending time with every single one of them backstage. Like, I loved being backstage the whole time. The prop parents, there was one prop parent from BSDA. She was like head of props, I would say. She had a binder. They had diagrams.
Love that.
And I feel like when you have props like that, diagrams are key.
Yeah.
She had the key diagram. She's bringing out the props. She's standing there with that page, and she's like, you're going to move that to
It's
the
like
left,
us loading
that
the
to the
truck
right.
at the end.
Literally.
We need our diagrams. We got to have
The
it all
diagram
together.
is key.
It's my favorite when they come like up to merch or whatever, and they have like their laminated schedule of all their
Yes.
acts, and I'm like, you are prepared.
You know what I saw this past weekend at Ultra Anaheim? A spreadsheet for scores. There was a parent that was in the back row, and they were, because
Wow.
obviously after every single
Yeah.
performance, those scores come up. She
Yeah.
was plugging
was-
them in.
I
And I was
love.
like, wait, that's kind of, I mean, very on top of it.
Yeah.
Like,
But I
go
mean,
team
hey,
mom.
Kill it.
Because
That's
I get
crazy.
it. During the day, it's so chaotic. I'm sure those teachers, I mean, they're paying attention, but to have all of that to go back
to have one parent
and
that's
just
like in
have it.
charge of it. Oh, wow.
Super
Isn't that
organized.
interesting?
Yeah.
I know. That was my first time seeing that.
I love being organized. I
It's
love
like the type A
organization.
versus the type B dance parent.
Yes.
Comment down below which one you are.
Or a type C, because I have seen some type C's representing out there, but definitely type A or type B.
Yeah. Wow.
Love it. Okay, I'm going to do a couple MC picks. So we have from our Carfort Mill show, 388 LA 2028 from Center Stage
Oh.
Dance Academy. It was basically 8.5 minutes of pure insanity, in her words.
8.5 minutes.
It was their
Whoa,
big
that's
production.
Crazy.
I love that.
It was an Olympics theme, so it was everything from gymnastics to swimming to all of the things. She said, I literally feel like these kids could compete in the Olympics, which I don't doubt. There's some talented kids out there. She said every time they came out as a different sport, it was just so fun. You didn't know what was coming next. Favorite part, synchronized swimming.
Oh, gotta be.
I mean,
That is my favorite part of the
Iconic.
Olympics.
Iconic. So yeah, that was really, really cool. Then we have 541 and I'm Telling You from BSDA.
Yep.
This came highly recommended from your Lakeland show. This girl was powerful, stunning, powerful. Just the maturity that she had when she was on stage. I feel like there was an inner confidence, a silent confidence. Just her control, her strength, everything about it, I feel like was picture perfect. You could probably go through and be like, picture, 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 picture. Absolutely stunning. And then lastly, we have 116 Dreams Within from Rainbow Redondo Beach, sent in from no one other than Ansel, our producer. And this was a really cool, different performance. This was a Stars of Tomorrow solo open age 7. This dancer's name is Angela, and she's from HD Dance Academy.
okay.
Very cool concept. Started with like a white toy chest in the center of the stage, and all of a sudden you just see her little ballet shoes just poke out, and she's like doing cute little things.
Wait.
But it's just her feet, and we're
I
like,
love.
okay, wait, cute. Then she like puts her hat on, and it's like, okay, it's giving Toy Story. It's giving
Yeah.
your doll comes awake at night, whatever it is. It was just a cool concept, and I feel like you don't really see concepts like that in a Stars of Tomorrow. So it was just cool to like give her a character. She was so little. Her feet were perfect, pointed, knees straight. Just loved it. So shout out to Angela. You clearly caught the attention of our producer and our team. So shout out to you. Congratulations.
I have one more I would
Do
love to
it.
give a
Let's
shout
hear
out
it.
to. This was sent by multiple team members at this show from Rainbow Sacramento. It was number 90, Up. His name is Blake from Ovations Dance Studio, and it was like the movie Up. He was dressed as the little scout. He was ready to go. He had the whole commentary at the very beginning. And what clocked everyone from our team was that obviously it was a rainbow show. And in the middle, he says, and I'm missing one patch. And that's my rainbow double platinum patch. And everyone literally was like, oh, wait, this is awesome. We've talked about a few performances this season that have like incorporated
Integrated it.
the competition that they're attending. And I love that. And I love to see it. And it will never get old for me. So continue to do that because that's sick to
It
me.
makes like your ears perk up. You're
Yeah.
like, oh, wait.
Yeah, like already his performance was great and everyone was watching, but then that just made it 10 times better for everyone. They were like, oh, you incorporated us into it. So then it almost feels like you brought it home for us.
Yeah.
And that's always fun. And his performance was so fun, and it was a hip hop solo, so he was hitting that pocket. But that stood out to literally everyone. I got like 7 messages from different team members on that show, like, please, please, please write that down. So I typed it in as fast as I could. I was like, okay, I won't forget. I'm pulling the video now. Yeah, sick. What a big 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I do want to shout out Ovations as well, because at that Sacramento show, we had 2 different studios share.
Oh, yes.
Ovations shared. We donated to one of their young dancers who ended up passing away, and they got up on stage. They shared about Ivy's story. They actually submitted a $500 check back to DAC. Wow. So we're getting in the process of getting them to be an official Hope studio. And then we also had Elevate Dance Center there representing. So we had Rebecca, who is one of our Hope Stories, along with Haley Doyle, who is just such an amazing human and doing so much for that studio. And she's planning a whole event for DAC this summer to get those studios up there involved. And just, it was a really like big DAC weekend up in Sacramento. And I've heard from staff, like, you could feel it. It was just an emotional weekend, but such a good one, and such a good reminder of like, hey, we still have this community to support one another. And then I do want to shout out, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but little Brielle, who is one of our DAC Hope Stories, she is so just cute. Needing some extra love these days. And so Tia Stokes, JoJo, and myself, we were like, let's do something. Like, we have to do something for her. So it was Brielle's dream to have one of her dances that she choreographed go viral. And so we were like, okay, say less. We're going to do this. So JoJo talked about it on her tea time. Tia talked about it. I'm talking about it here. We've been posting. There's hundreds of videos.
I've been seeing it. I'm clicking through stories.
Yes. And everyone's doing it. So just thank you.
We did it on stage.
Yes.
We taught it to the kids on stage during one of the awards, and we had them do it. We took a video and everything.
Yeah. It's just been so cool. And thank you to everyone who's showing up for her right now. It's just bringing her so much joy, and her family. It just feels so much love and support. And that's what Dancers Against Cancer is all about, is movement is medicine. And if someone can't dance, we're going to dance for them. So just thank you to everyone. I've seen some Hope Studios participate. Our other Hope Stories are participating. So we're just going to keep going as long as we want. So if you haven't done it yet, you're not too late. Hop on the trend. Is it APT? Apata, I don't know, whatever we're calling it these days. I don't know how to correctly pronounce that song, but you guys know the song. It's trending, and Brielle made the cutest little dance. So yeah, just thank you guys for your support. Dancers Against Cancer is, as you guys know, so near and dear to our hearts. And just to see our dance community showing up this season as strongly as you are, we just couldn't do it without you. And it makes those hard days for our kids just a little bit better and easier. So thank you guys. And we're moving on to another big regional. Yeah.
Woo.
And then it cuts down a little bit, but this is our, I think, last weekend where we have multiple states happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
What is it? 8-9 shows this weekend?
Something like that.
Something like that.
But it's been so much fun meeting you guys out on the road. And so if we're in a city or a show near you guys, come say hey. Let us know if there's any performances that we should be keeping an eye out for those finals, if you're attending any of our finals. Yeah. And we also just announced Refresh.
Oh, yeah. You should check that out.
Refresh 2026 tour dates are up. If you guys are interested in joining, we are bringing back a freshness to the dance industry. And we've got Megan Swan as that competition director. So if you guys are interested and you guys want to come and check out Refresh, we would love to have you.
Yeah.
And what else? What else is...
Ultra's doing a giveaway right now on Instagram.
There
we
we
just
go.
released that.
Boom.
Got a giveaway. Go check it out. Won't give you details. You got to go see it there.
Oh.
Yeah. Gotta go give a follow.
Yep. Yeah. Love it. Well, as always, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for your support. Make sure you're following all things CAR, Rainbow, Ultra, DAC, Industry Dance Awards, Hollywood Dance Experience, Refresh, all of the things, guys. We are just a family of brands, and we want you guys to join. So thank you guys for your support, and we'll see you on the road. Bye.